Welcome to Living in Two Worlds. Today I want to talk about the COVID-19 pandemic and where things stand in Thailand, what's being done about it, and touch a little bit upon our decision to wait this out in Thailand versus returning to Canada. Thailand, I think, was one of the countries that recorded some of the first cases outside of China. This is not surprising, as Chinese tourists here are very huge to this country, and there's a lot of them every year. So I believe it came here sometime in January with the first sort of recorded cases. It was being monitored, talked about, not a lot was being done, and then in early March there was a case where they had, well, numerous cases actually. There was a Muay Thai boxing match, which is very, very popular here, obviously like a national sport, in a large stadium arena in Bangkok. And out of that event, that came somewhere around 100 cases, which then spread throughout the country. That then really raised alarm and panic, and it was then determined that something serious has to be done. So on, I believe it was around the 20th of March, the country went into a lockdown. The government declared a state of emergency and imposed a number of regulations, basically limiting travel, sending people home from work, closing businesses that were considered non-essential. Then around that was all in place. So then at the end of March, we were actually scheduled to return to Canada March 31st. We were faced with a choice. Do we get on the plane? Do we go? At that point in time here, there was around 1,800 cases. They had shown 12 deaths, and there was about 1,400 active cases. When we looked at those numbers along with what the government was doing and compared them to the numbers in Canada, we made the decision to wait this out in Thailand as opposed to returning to Canada at that time. The other side of that is the fact that here in Thailand, we have a home. We live in our own home, so we're comfortable. We're not in any danger here. We're not stuck in a hotel or a hostel or some quarantine camp or anything like that. We're comfortable in our own home. We have everything we need to survive, live, and live comfortably, which isn't the case in Canada right now. I think, as some of you know, we're in the process of making a move across the country from Saskatchewan to Ontario. We sold our home in Ontario in April of last year, packed everything up, put it all in a 40-foot container and shipped it to Midland, Ontario. It is sitting on my daughter's property, fully loaded, waiting for us to unload it and get to work to build our new home in Ontario. But that's not going to happen right now. So because of the fact that we really had no place to quarantine, no place to self-isolate, and we were putting Kimberly, my daughter, and her children at risk if we returned to their place, we felt that the safest and the most prudent thing for us to do was to stay here. So that's how we came up with that decision, and we're comfortable with that. Just as a side note to that, we initially, pardon the motorcycle going by, making that decision, we came to the realization, or we also understood, and we made that decision, that we may not be able to go home now when we want to go home. We've tentatively rescheduled our flight for June 10th, that giving us, once we add a couple weeks of quarantine on that, that means that we should be sort of free to live our life in Canada by about July 1st. That's the plan as it stands today. But one of the measures that's come about with the state of emergency is there are no international flights being allowed into Thailand. So there is no plane for us to get on to go home. That was supposed to end at the end of yesterday, at the end of April, was when the the state of emergency was to be lifted and life was supposedly to start to return to some sort of normal. But that now has been extended till the end of May. So we really don't know, and we won't know till then at least, whether they will even allow flights to come in or go out. So we may not be able to get on a flight at that time either. We understood this when we made the decision, that there is a distinct possibility that we may end up having to spend a full year here in Thailand and wait until next spring to come back to Canada. If that's what it works out to be and that's what it is, we're comfortable with that decision. It's not our first plan, but it was definitely plan B, and it's something that we will live with, and we won't be in any danger, and it's no real problem because of the fact that I don't have to return to work. I am retired, so that's a decision. We understood that when we made the decision, and we're comfortable if that's what it turns out to be. So right now, this being May 1st, yesterday, as I mentioned, the state of emergency has been extended till the end of May. So that means there is no travel. There's also a curfew in place, which means that no one is to be outdoors or out of their home between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. But that one really doesn't bother me at all, because it's not very often I'm awake or up, certainly out of the house between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. So if they could have that one year round, and that one really wouldn't bother me at all. The travel, well, we don't really want to travel right now anywhere. We feel much the same here as people do in Canada. We're pretty much self-isolating certainly for the last 6 weeks. We're here at home with the 2 kids. We only go where we need to go for necessities, shopping, stuff like that, and then we return home and we spend our time here at home. So even if they do lift travel within the country, we're probably really not likely to go anywhere anyway at this point in time. The one thing that they have done, which is a little disheartening, is last month in April, they were very concerned about what is known as a festival called Songkran. Songkran is the Thai New Year, which comes on April 13th. And at that time of year, that is when everybody leaves their jobs, leaves the city, returns home, returns to the farm, and has massive parties for anywhere from 5 to 7 days. So out of fear of that spreading the virus out of control, that was canceled. That made sense. And along with that, they banned alcohol sales starting April 8th, which was to go through till April 18th. That was not too bad. They gave a couple days notice. I managed to get to the market, got myself some beer, pretty good stock, I thought, and we were okay with that. As it got close to the 18th, they decided to extend that to the end of April. With a little bit of rationing, we managed to make it through to the end of April with our beer. That may sound like I'm emphasizing the beer quite a lot, but presently I'm sitting outside here today and it's 35 degrees, so I really wouldn't mind a cold beer at some point today, but it's not going to happen because they extended that through till the end of May, and we don't have any beer. So that means that, you know what, my liver's going to get a break. My body's going to get a break. Not real thrilled about it, but you know what? It's certainly not the end of the world, and probably not a bad thing in the long run. So we'll go with it, live with it, just however it is, and take it from there. I want to put up a little picture here again. This is a picture I saw on a fence that as we were driving the other day. I don't read Thai, and if you look at this picture, you can see these are the steps that they're asking me to take, which is pretty much, I think, worldwide, not only just in Canada. Wash your hands a lot, wear a mask, and don't travel if it's not necessary. So I thought that was kind of cute, so I thought I would plunk that in there for you to take a look at. So now, where do we go from here? Well, it's pretty much the same as it is in Canada. Sit, wait it out. Like I said, the cases are not extremely bad here. Like I say, there's 213 active cases, 50 deaths, 7 new ones yesterday. It's been single digits for the past 4 or 5 days. You know, somebody asked me at one point in time, they said, do you really believe those numbers? Well, I don't have access to what the government does, so are they true? Are they not true? I can't say that 100% for sure, but based on what we see around here, there's no reporting or no visuals of any panic at hospitals anywhere, overcrowding, people flowing out into the streets or anything. So I tend to believe that the numbers, if not correct, are certainly somewhere along the right lines. So are we in danger in Thailand? Do we need to worry? No, I don't think so. I think we're self-isolating. I think the chances of getting it are quite minimal. But at the same point, we want to do our part, the same as everybody else. So we're comfortable here, we're safe here. People don't need to worry about us here at all. And I hope that this little bit of information has helped you understand just what it's like in another part of the world. Pretty much the same. Like I say, this is a worldwide pandemic and it is affecting everybody. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I want to thank everybody who subscribed to my channel so far. If you like this, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have some more followers, some more subscribers. If you'd like to comment, please scroll down on the page. You'll find a comment section below. After my last video, a number of people made some very nice comments to me through Facebook and Instagram. Please put your comments on the YouTube channel. That way I'm able to keep them and keep everything together, and it helps me move forward. Looking forward to hearing from you. Looking forward to more subscriptions, and we will continue to look for some different things we find interesting or we think that you may find of interest to you, and just to give you a glimpse of what our life is like here and what we're going through. So with that said, we'll sign off for today. Everybody enjoy, and wherever you are, whether it's Thailand, Canada, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again soon.